Hi, Huxley. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Preeti.
Thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with me.
No problem.
So, you are the man of the hour hosting B-Sides NYC. Can you briefly talk about yourself? What do you do? Where do you work?
Sure.
And your journey into cybersecurity?
Yeah. Well, I really don't think it's about me right now. It's about the community here.
Yes.
But yes, I will indulge your question here. My name is Huxley Barbee. I'm the only Huxley Barbee that you'll ever meet, and I am the security evangelist at Run Zero.
Okay.
We are a cyber asset management solution that helps you find all of your devices on your network,
Okay.
whether they be IT, IoT, or OT. But perhaps more relevant to this conversation, I'm also the lead organizer for BSides NYC.
Nice. Very nice. And what about B-Sides NYC did you like so much that you wanted to reboot it?
Yeah, well, I've been I've been doing something in security since the the mid '90s, and I have gotten so much out of the industry and the community. And there's a lot here about giving back, but there's also a lot here about the regional nature of it, right?
Uh-huh.
And you take a look, and by some measure, by some dimension, one could say that New York City is behind San Francisco, Las Vegas, Austin, and DC
Okay.
in terms of the vibrancy of the cybersecurity community. Right? I mean, obviously, there's lots going on here, but on balance,
Yeah.
those other cities are the ones that come to mind first, and that really doesn't do our region here justice, I think. And so
Yeah, I was
part
about to say this, like, that is not truly representative of the amount of cybersecurity professionals we have here,
100%.
the kind of work that we're doing here.
100%,
Yeah.
100%, and my way of dealing with that is rebooting this conference. It is I believe based on the numbers, perhaps the largest technical community-driven conference. Um, yeah, our largest technical community-driven conference that's as accessible as possible, right? And so um, that is something that I think really helps bring across the strength of the cybersecurity community in New York City.
Absolutely. I think today we heard that we had about 900 plus tickets sold, and there were so many attendees across different diaspora, entry level, mid level, senior level. Everybody was here to just come and share in on the knowledge. We also included a lot of people who, to make it more affordable for those people who could not afford it. So
Correct.
kudos on that. Great job.
Yeah, yeah. Tickets, full price tickets were $15, which is
Yeah.
super cheap. But if you're a student or if you have financial hardship, we found ways to make it even affordable for you. And yeah, like you said, over 1,000 tickets sold. We've had over 750 people check in, so it's a
Yes.
pretty high attendance rate.
Absolutely.
Even though tickets were so cheap.
Yeah.
So it's from that perspective, it seems like it's a resounding success so far.
It is, because it's been a while and we're coming back from a hiatus, and the fact that we put in a lot of word, the community itself has spread the word that this
Yep.
is happening, so that's great.
Yep.
How do you think the conference is going so far? Are
Well,
you able to breathe?
it's so by the numbers, it's fantastic. Perhaps other numbers we want to share are the fact that we had 127 submissions for our CFP, which is 50% more than our last conference. So there's 17% acceptance rate. So which means the quality of our talks are pretty high. And we have speakers coming from as far as Sweden and Italy and Israel. So we're definitely attracting folks from elsewhere. As it's really a reflection of the cosmopolitan international nature of New York City, right?
Absolutely.
As it should be, really. But in terms of other things, a little more anecdotal, right? As far as we can tell, there have not been any sort of snafus or hiccups that might have created some sort of situation. So it's all looking really, really, really good. We have great sponsors, great volunteers, great attendees, speakers, and trainers, and so on and so forth. So, off the top of my head, there's nothing that comes to mind as like, oh, that was a huge problem. There's always room for improvement, but everything's just going really, really well.
That's great.
To the point where I'm actually not super stressed about anything.
Wonderful. That's how we want. And to your point about how global this event has been, the outreach, I met a gentleman from Ireland. I spoke with him, and he was really excited to be here. They even took pictures in front of the banner. So that's great. They actually want to say that we've come here, we've been part of this community, and we're taking something back.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And
yep.
I think that truly imbibes the spirit of even having this conference.
100%.
Great.
100%. Yep.
Thank you. I will let you go with this one last question. For those who cannot make it this year but are really enthusiastic about attending it next year,
Right.
what would you say? How can they best make use of their time here at BSidesNYC? Be it entry-level professional, somebody who's looking to get into security, somebody who's already into security but wants to network better, somebody who is a veteran in security but really wants to share their knowledge. How do you think people should make the best use of their time?
Yeah, so if you're a veteran and you want to share your knowledge, there's going to be a call for papers. So answer the call. Answer the call, my friends, and submit a talk. But if you're somebody that's a little bit more earlier in career, then obviously what you want to do is try and get as much out of the conference as possible. Get to know the conference early. Right? There's a lot of information that is posted on social media.
Yes.
Or if you want, you can join our Slack workspace and get engaged that way. There's a lot of information that's shared as the conference gets closer and closer. And of course, the schedule can change at the last minute, but there's a lot of information that you can get beforehand. You can get to know who are the speakers that are coming, the topics that they're going to discuss, right? Let's say it's a talk on security and AWS Lambdas, right? Serverless hacking. Maybe you can get more out of that talk by learning a little bit more about cloud security, learning more about AWS Lambdas or Azure functions, so that when you attend that talk, you are going to be starting from a place where you have more knowledge and you can get more out of the talk, just as an example. I think the other thing is get your extroverted self in gear by the time you show up. I don't care if you're introverted. When you're here, you're among friends. You are with people that are like you. And, we strive very hard to make this conference as inclusive as possible, right? So you can be your best self when you're here with like-minded folks and just be social, get to know folks, and, continue to stay in touch throughout the year between conferences.
I think that's great advice. And if I may actually put a plug in here, there are opportunities to volunteer as well. That's
Yes.
also a way to get involved with the community, a way to get access to people. And all of this information was present on the website. So for me, it was very easy. It was just looking at the website, joining a couple of Slack channels, monitoring conversations. It's really effortless, right? So it doesn't take much effort to be informed, but the initiative truly has to come from people.
Yes. Yeah. You don't be the hacker that's behind the screen all the time. Get out from the laptop, in front of the laptop, and shake a hand. There is life IRL.
Yep, absolutely, and especially in New York City, right? It's always bustling.
Yep, there you go.
Great. Thank you so much for your time, Huxley. It was really nice talking to you and hearing your perspective on what made you create this conference, reboot it, and bring us all together once again.
Appreciate it, Preeti.
Thank you
very
so much.
Thank you.